Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. In this video tutorial, I will show you using stored procedures in Django web tutorials how to insert records into MySQL phpmyadmin database. Now let's check the final output. Let's enter the first name is Peter and the last name is White and pet@gmail.com. Now before insert this record, let's check. I'm reloading this browser MP table. Right now this table contains only one record. Let's insert the Peter record. Insert. And notice here we got a message, the employee Peter is saved successfully. Let's check the browser MP table. So here we got the Peter details has been inserted successfully. Let's add another one, and this time I'm adding Vijay, last name is Kumar at yahoo.com. Now let's insert. See here the employee Vijay is saved successfully. Let's check browser EMP table. And here we got the Vijay Kumar details is inserted successfully. That's it. We have implemented to insert records into MySQL phpmyadmin database using stored procedures in Django Python web tutorials. If you are a first time visitor to my channel, please subscribe to get the latest updates. Before writing the coding part in Django web application to save records into table, first we'll create a new table and store procedure in phpmyadmin database. I just logged into my database, phpmyadmin database. I want to create a new table and store procedure in this sample DB database. First we'll create a new table. Let's browse this database, sample DB. Now, right now in this database contains around 44 tables. Let's create a new table. I'm selecting SQL tab. Create table. The table name is EMP tables. EMP table. Let's add the column names. ID. The integer type. I'm adding primary key for this column. Primary key, and it's an auto increment column. Auto increment column. The next one, let's add the comma here. First name, varchar 100. Last name, varchar 100. And email, varchar 100. Just for the demo purpose, I have added only few columns into this EMP table. Let's create a table. Click go, and here we got a message, the table has been created successfully. Let's browse the table. Where is the EMP table? Here is the EMP table. Let's browse this table, and here we got the results of this newly created EMP table, which contains 0 rows. Now let's create a new store procedure to insert records into this table. Go to top. In the sample DB database, there is a folder called procedures. Let's click that, browser procedures. Right now in this database there are several stored procedures. To create a stored procedure, click add routine. The stored procedure name is, let's give sp insert a record. REC is a stored procedure name, and the type is a procedure only. And the parameters I'm passing, if you notice in our table, let's open the table also, EMP table. I'm opening in a new tab. In our table, there are 4 columns: ID, first name, last name, and email. The ID column is the auto generate column, so I don't require. parameter for this. So second column is a first name. So add the input type first name, we are which is a varchar type, and the length is 100. Let's add another parameter, which is the in direction is in, the last name, the column name is last name, and this also data type is varchar 100. And the last parameter is the input type, which is an email. Copy that one and paste here. The data type is a varchar and the length is 100 only. After that, we'll write the definition, which is the insert statement. Insert into the table name is emp table. Let's copy this one, paste here. Table name, first name, the column names, last name, email, values, and the values is this one, the parameters, first name, last name, and email. That's it. Just click go to create the stored procedure, and here the stored procedure is added. If you notice at the top, the stored procedure has been created. And now let's execute the stored procedure. Let's copy this one, sp insert record SQL. Okay. To execute the stored procedure, we need to add call stored procedure name, and this procedure takes three parameters. The first one is a first name. The first name I'm adding Charan, and the last name is K, and email is charan@gmail.com. So let's execute the stored procedure. Click go, and the procedure has been executed successfully. Let's check this Charan details is inserted successfully or not in this emp table. Let's browse the table, and here we got the newly inserted record Charan has been successfully inserted in this emp table using stored procedures. Now the next step, we'll call this stored procedure. We'll call this stored procedure in Django to insert the records. Now first, before creating a Django web application, first we'll create a new folder in this local disk D drive. Right click the mouse, new, I'm selecting the folder, and the folder name is insert hyphen stored procedure. Enter. Now let's browse the folder. Right now this folder is totally empty. Now we'll create a new Django application in this folder. I'm using Visual Studio Code to create the Django web application. Go to File first. We'll add the folder name. Click Open Folder. The folder we have created in this local disk D drive. The folder name is Insert SP. Click Select Folder. And here the folder is successfully added to our Explorer panel. Right now this folder contains empty. Let's minimize and maximize. And at the right side we got the welcome page. Let's close this welcome page. Now we'll create a new Django web application in this folder. For that, open View, select Terminal, and here we got the terminal, which is a command prompt. And notice the path is a insert-sp, which is our folder name, and the drive is a D drive. To create a Django web application, add Django, make it small letters, Django -admin, start project, and the project name is insert record. Is a project name, application name. And the project has been created successfully. If you notice in the folder, this is the insert record. Let me expand this folder application. Now in this application we have the subfolder and one manage.py. In the subfolder, let me expand that, and notice we got some default Python files like settings.py, URLs, and these are all files and folders has been created automatically when I create this start project insert record. So after creating the project or application, next step, we'll create a new template folder for our HTML pages. Select the application name, insert record, right click the mouse, click new folder and add the templates, enter. And here we got the templates folder. Now in this templates folder, we'll add our HTML page. Right click the templates folder, click new file. The file name is a index.html. And here we got our index.html. First, we'll add some HTML code in this page. Doc type. I'm closing the HTML tag. Let's add the header section in this HTML tags. Add the title. Insert record using stored procedure SP. After that, below the header tags, I'm adding the body tag. Now inside the body tag, I'm adding center tag. I'm adding header tags using stored procedure how to insert a record into MySQL phpmyadmin database, and h2 tag Django Python web application, web tutorials. After headings, I'm adding horizontal line. Now after the horizontal line, I'm adding a simple form tag. Inside this form tag, I'm adding the first name is a label, input type is equals to text, placeholder is enter AMP employee first name. Let's close this input element, copy this one. We require 3 text box controls. First name, next text box is a last name, instead of first name, employee name as a last name, and the last column name is an email, and enter email. So after that, what we'll do is we'll add breaks. Then I'm adding horizontal line. After the horizontal line, I'm adding a simple button control. Input type is equals to, the button control type is a submit, and the value of the button control is equals to insert. Let's close the button control. After that, I'm adding horizontal line, another horizontal line. Now let's save this file, open file and save all. Next step, we'll add the models page. Select the subfolder, right click the mouse, click new file. I'm adding models.py, and here we got our models.py page. And this models.py contains only the properties. First, before that, we'll add the class from Django.db import models. Now in this models page, let's create a class. Insert emp record is a class name. Models dot model, M is capital here, colon. Now in this class, I'm just defining the properties. So the properties in our table, we have 4 columns: ID, first name and last name, email. So first I'm adding the property for the first name. Let's copy this one. First name is equals to models dot char field, data type is a char field, and I'm adding the max length of this column. Property is 100. The second column name is the last name. Instead of writing this part, copy this one and I'm pasting here. The last property is email. That's it. After adding the properties in this class, in this models.py, let's save this file. Save all. Now we require the view space to call the stored procedure to insert the records. So again, right click the subfolder insert record, click new file, and the file name is a views.py. Enter, and here we got the views.py. First we'll add the requirement classes from Django.shortcuts import a render class. Next class we require the models from the models page in this insert record. So add the insert record dot models import. I'm importing the class name from this models. The class name is the insert emp record. Copy that one and paste here. After that we require the connections also from Django.db import connections, and now we'll add the function name def. In the definition, save records emp request. This function takes a request request. Now in this function, first if request dot method, the method double equals to, between double quotes I am adding post method. We are posting the data, colon, what values we are posting, this text box values we are posting. So in the model and in the views, if request dot post dot get method, we are getting the values between single quotes. The first value in this text box control, add the property called name between double quotes. So I'm adding the first name. So add this name value in this views page. Sorry, here first name, copy that one and paste here, and the second column, second text box control, and the third one. The second one we require the name is equals to last name, and the third one name is equals to email. Add this name, last name, and the views here, and the last one is the email, colon, enter. Now we'll get these properties from this models class. So for that, let's declare a variable emp save is equals to, I'm adding the class name insert emp record from the models, then emp save dot first name, the property name is equals to, let's request the post, add this line, and the second one emp save dot last name is equals to, add this one, and the last one is the emp save dot email email is equals to request dot post dot get, which is the email. This one I'm adding here. After that, cursor is equals to connection. This class, it's not connections, it's connection. So add the connection here, dot cursor method. Then cursor dot execute method. In this execute method, we'll call our store procedure. So our store procedure, open this one, call store procedure. Let's copy this one, paste here. Here what I'm doing, between double quotes, I'm adding plus plus. In this plus plus, first this variable I'm adding emp.save first name. So let's copy this one, paste here and paste here. We require comma here. Just make sure this parenthesis for this one and this one for this one. So emp save last name and emp save email. This one is the email. So after that, once the record is inserted successfully, I want to display the message. So for that, I'm adding one more class here to display the message on the browser from Django.contrib contrib import messages. Let's add this messages class dot success method, and this success method takes the first parameter is a request. I'm requesting request comma, and the message is the employee plus plus the employee name. First name I'm adding is saved successfully. So once the record is saved successfully, this function return render method, and this render method takes the parameter. First one is a request, and the second parameter is our template name, which is a index.html. Let's add that one, index.html. Cover this one, and the else part is for this if condition. Else I'm adding the return request index.html. That's it. In this view page, we have called our store procedure to insert records. So let's save this file, save all. After that, we need to configure the URL patterns. Open urls.py. In the urls.py, notice the default URL pattern is the admin page, so which I don't require, so I'm commenting with hash. Let's add our path. After single quotes, comma, the path we are getting from this views function name, because we have added the index.html here, the template name. So first import from dot import views. Now views dot the function name. That's it. Let's save this file, save all. So after configuring the URL patterns, next the most important step, we need to configure our installed application, the template and our database, the connection string. In the settings.py, open that one, settings.py. In settings.py, come to the bottom. First we have to install our app's name. Our application name is insert record. So here between single quotes I am adding insert record, our app name here, insert record here. Then come to the bottom, notice here the templates section, there is a directories there, rs. Let's add os.path.join method, and this join method takes parameters. First one is a base directory, and I'm joining with the templates, the base directory with the templates. So between single quotes I'm adding the templates folder, and this templates folder contains our HTML pages. Come to the bottom. Now we require the last step in the databases. Notice the default database is a SQLite 3 for Django. So we delete that one. Our database is a MySQL. Next attribute name, let's read this default line between single quotes. Our database name is a sampledb. Notice here the database is a sampledb. We have to add our database name, sampledb. Next one is a user, between single quotes the user is a root, comma, and the next attribute is a password. Here the password I'm leaving blank because I don't have any password to log into my phpmyadmin database. If you have any password, please enter that password between these single quotes. After that we require the host. The host is a local host, and then we require the port number also. The MySQL port number is, again switch to the database. Notice here 3306 is our port number for MySQL phpmyadmin. Then the last one is the options. It's not, we don't require the square brackets here. Options colon. Now let's add the curly braces. Now inside this curly braces, in single quotes, init underscore command colon. Now between double quotes I'm setting the SQL mode, SQL underscore mode is equals to, between single quotes, strict underscore trans underscore tables. That's it. In the settings.py we have configured the databases, our templates, and we have installed our application name. Now let's save this file. Now here in the index.html, the form, the method attribute I'm adding, which is a post. After that I'm adding the most important step. When we are posting the data in Django web framework, we need to add percentage csrf underscore token. Now this csrf underscore token, it encrypts our data, it saves our data from the hackers. So make sure add this csrf underscore token when you are posting the data. Suppose if you don't add this line, you'll get an error. So after adding the form method is equals to post and csrf underscore token. Next, once we insert the record, I want to display this message. So let's add here between curly braces percentage if messages, the message we are getting from the messages class, percentage we are closing the end if, I'm closing the if condition, and then I'm adding for loop percentage for display data is a variable in messages. Let's close a for loop also, and for now between this if and for loops for condition I am adding h3 tag, and let's add the style is equals to color. I am adding the color green between curly braces, double curly braces. I am adding this variable display data. That's it, we have done the complete coding part. Now let's run the server. So before run the server, on the terminal first we need to add the insert record to the path cd, not here, here, cd insert record our application name. After that we need to install MySQL client also, pip install MySQL client, enter. Sorry, it's a I missed the L here. Enter. And see here we got a message, the requirement already satisfied, which means the MySQL client package has been installed successfully to our project. Next, let's run the server. To run the server, add python manage.py, run server, enter. And see here, after we run the server, we don't have any issues to our application, and below that we got our web server link, control plus mouse click, and here we got the final output, the header tags, and here the first name employee. Let's check the placeholder here, and first name, okay. Simply enter first name here, so it looks good. Enter last name, let's save this file, save all. Now we'll reload the browser. So now we got the final output. Now let's check the final output. Let's enter the first name is Peter, and the last name is White, and pet@gmail.com. Now before insert this record, let's check. I'm reloading this browser empty table. Right now this table contains only one record. Let's insert the Peter record, insert. And notice here we got a message, the employee Peter is saved successfully. Let's check the browser empty table. So here we got the Peter details has been inserted successfully. Let's add another one, and this time I'm adding Vijay, last name is Kumar at yahoo.com. Now let's insert. See here the employee Vijay is saved successfully. Let's check browser EMP table. And here we got the Vijay Kumar details is inserted successfully. That's it. We have implemented to insert records into MySQL phpmyadmin database using stored procedures in Django Python web tutorials.